Yeah, I want you to picture an industry for a second. And it's massive. It's flashy. It's seemingly everywhere you look, right? From your phone screen to the billboards in Times Square.
Right.
And in 2025, this industry generated $260 billion.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's a number that is genuinely hard to wrap your head around. Feels almost abstract at that scale.
It really does. So let's try to give that number some teeth. That 260 billion,
Yeah.
that is bigger than the global film industry and the global music industry combined.
Wow.
Yeah. We are talking about gaming, and specifically for this deep dive, we are talking about the creator economy that has just exploded around it. We are looking at a world with 3.49 billion active players.
Which is nearly half the planet.
Exactly. It's staggering.
It is. It's a complete cultural monolith at this point.
But here is the thing that drives me crazy about those numbers. You know, you see the headlines, you see the dollar signs, and you see these superstar streamers buying mansions in the Hollywood Hills.
Right, the lifestyle.
Yeah, the lifestyle. It looks like a gold rush. It looks like the easiest money on earth. Like, just play video games and get rich.
Right. That is definitely the mainstream perception, yes.
But then you dig into the actual data, which is exactly what we are doing today with this course material from Sporte Academy. And you get hit with a reality check that is just colder than a bucket of ice water. Here's the stat that stopped me dead in my tracks.
Oh, I know the one.
72.6% of Twitch streamers generate zero revenue.
Zero.
Not low revenue, not like pocket change. Zero, nothing at all.
Which really frames the entire problem we are tackling today. You have this massive market, this absolute ocean of money, but the gap between being a hobbyist and a professional is an ocean wide.
Right.
Most people look at streamers or YouTubers and think, oh, they're just playing games, I can do that. But the difference isn't usually your skill at the game.
No, not at all.
I mean, you can be the best player in the entire world and make absolutely $0. The difference is understanding that this is a business ecosystem.
Exactly. It's not a lottery ticket. It's a startup. And frankly, most people treat it like a lottery ticket. They buy the gear, they hit the go live button, and they just wait for the winning numbers to roll in.
And when they don't, they quit.
Which is why the turnover rate is so astronomically high. So our mission for this deep dive is to take this Sporte Academy course material, specifically their content creation for gamers roadmap, and tear it apart.
Rip it down to the studs.
Exactly. We are going to build the business plan from 0 followers to full-time status. And I want to be very clear about our focus today. We aren't just talking about, being authentic or having fun.
Right, that's fluff.
Yes, fluff. We are going to drill down into how the money actually works, the specific revenue streams, and perhaps more importantly, the realistic timeline.
The timeline is where most people fail. They expect the overnight success. But the source material lays out a very specific 24-month marathon.
So if you are listening to this and you've ever thought, could I actually do this full time? Or even if you're just curious how this $260 billion engine actually runs, stick around. We are going to look at the mechanics, the math, and the mindset.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's unpack the landscape first, because I think the stereotype of the gamer is still stuck in the 90s for a lot of people. You know the image.
Oh, the teenage boy in the basement, surrounded by empty soda cans, playing alone in the dark.
Exactly.
That image is completely outdated. And honestly, if you build your business strategy around that specific stereotype today, you've already failed. The demographics have shifted radically.
The source highlighted this really well. 48% of gamers are women. That is basically an even split.
And it's not just playing, right? It's creating. Female streamers now make up 26% of live content creators. That's a huge chunk, and it's growing year over year. But what I found even more compelling in the data, and this is something a lot of Western creators completely miss, was the geographic shift.
Yes, the gold rush isn't just in Los Angeles or London anymore.
Not at all. The fastest growth is happening in emerging markets. We're talking South Asia, the Middle East, Africa. The course book specifically mentions Pakistan's gaming market growing at nearly 22% annually.
That is wild. But pause for a second. Because if I'm a creator sitting in Chicago or Manchester, why do I care about the growth stats in Pakistan? How does that help me pay my rent?
That's a great question. It's about understanding saturation versus opportunity.
Okay, break that down.
If you are creating content in English, targeting a North American male audience between 18 and 25, You are fighting in the bloodiest, most saturated arena on earth.
The competition is just insane.
Exactly. The CPMs, which is the cost advertisers pay, are high, sure, but the competition is lethal. Everyone is fighting for the exact same eyeballs.
Right.
But if you look globally, or if you look at underserved demographics, the math completely changes. The hunger for local, relatable content in emerging regions is immense. Or, even within the Western market, targeting demographics that aren't just teenage boys is a massive blue ocean strategy.
So the lesson here is, don't just follow the herd. The herd is running off a cliff of saturation.
Precisely. You have to find your specific pocket.
Now, speaking of the audience, the expert notes in the material emphasize that this specific audience has a very specific psychology. They call it the BS detector.
This is critical. Gamers are hypersensitive to inauthenticity.
Okay, but I have to push back on that a little bit.
Go for it.
Because I look at the top trending page of YouTube, or I look at the biggest TikTokers, and I see highly produced, hyper-edited, screaming at the camera content that feels incredibly manufactured. It feels like a bad reality TV show.
Yeah.
And those people are making millions. So is authenticity actually the rule, or is it just something we tell ourselves makes us better?
That is a very valid counterpoint. There is absolutely a market for the loud content. In the industry, we call that the spectacle market. But here's the distinction the Sporte Academy makes, and it's crucial for your actual longevity as a business.
Are you an entertainer or a community builder?
Exactly.
Okay, what's the actual difference in terms of the business model?
The high production, loud stuff works for the billboards, meaning TikTok, YouTube Shorts. It gets views, it gets clicks, but it rarely builds the deep, I will buy your merch, I will subscribe to your Patreon loyalty.
Oh,
If your entire persona is a character, you can never turn it off. And the burnout rate for those high-energy fakers is astronomical. They last 18 months, they make some cash, and then they crash hard because they hate the character they've created.
we're trapped in the bit.
They really are. So the authenticity argument isn't just about morals or being a good person. It's about energy management. If you are just being yourself, you can stream for 6 hours. If you are playing a hyperkinetic character, you're exhausted in 40 minutes.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So in traditional media, the show is the product. I sit down, I watch Friends, I consume the show. But in gaming, you're saying the community is the product.
Yes. If you are just broadcasting into the void, you aren't building any real equity. The value comes from the inside jokes, the interaction in the chat, the feeling of belonging.
The shared experience.
Right. The source text puts it perfectly. You cannot fake it to get rich quick. If you try to monetize before you have built that actual trust, the community will reject you like a bad organ transplant.
It's brutal.
It is. Vulnerability is a currency in this space. It's honestly better to be genuinely bad at a game and laugh about it with your chat than to pretend you're a pro and get exposed.
Okay, so we know who we are talking to, and we know we can't fake it, or at least we shouldn't if we want to survive more than a year. Now let's get into the strategy engine, because the course introduces this framework that I actually found super helpful, even outside of just gaming. They call it the 40-25-20-15 framework.
It sounds like a retirement portfolio plan.
Yeah, it kind of is for your content career. It breaks down exactly what you should be posting to balance your growth and your retention. So let's walk through it. The biggest chunk, 40%, is entertain.
Right. And this is the base layer. Why do people watch gaming content in the first place? Leisure, escapism. If it isn't fun, they leave.
But entertaining is so vague.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they're funny. What does this actually look like in practice for a new creator?
It's about personality as the main differentiator. Think about it. Thousands of people are playing Valorant or Call of Duty right now. The gameplay is identical. The pixels on the screen are exactly the same. The only actual differentiator is you.
So my reaction to the pixels.
Yes. Your reaction to a win, your absolute meltdown after a loss, your specific brand of commentary. That 40% is about showcasing your personality so that people aren't just watching the game, they're watching you play the game.
Got it. So that keeps them watching once they're there. But the next pillar, 25%, is educate. And the source argues this is how they find you in the first place.
Exactly. This is your search engine optimization, or SEO, play.
Explain that mechanism. Why is educate the discovery engine?
Because of how algorithms actually work, YouTube essentially has two main ways to feed you a video: browse, which is the homepage recommendations, and search. As a brand new creator, you have zero authority. YouTube's algorithm has absolutely no reason to put you on the homepage because it doesn't know if people like you yet.
You're a nobody.
You are a ghost in the machine. But search is egalitarian. If I type how to beat millennia in Elden Ring, the algorithm has to show me the best answer, even if it's from a small channel with 50 subscribers.
That's huge. So I don't need to be famous to rank in search. I just need to be helpful.
Precisely. It's a side door into the algorithm. But here is the trick the source emphasizes, and a lot of people mess this up. You have to solve the problem quickly.
Right.
If your title is How to Improve Hame, and you spend the first 2 minutes of the video talking about your breakfast,
I click off immediately. I don't care about your breakfast.
that tanks your retention metrics, which tells YouTube the video is bad and then you get buried forever.
Yeah.
The educate content needs to be highly utilitarian, high value, low fluff.
Get straight to the point.
Exactly. That is how you hook them. Once they trust you to solve their problem, then they might click on your funny let's play video later. You earn the right to entertain them by educating them first.
I love that phrase. Earn the right to entertain. Okay, next up in the framework is 20% inspire.
This is the emotional connection. This is sharing the actual struggle. Maybe you're trying to reach a certain rank in a competitive game and you fail. Showing that failure and then eventually showing the success, that's the inspire pillar.
Why is that so important?
It builds deep loyalty because the viewer feels like they actually went on the journey with you. They were there for the lows, so they celebrate the highs.
And finally, the smallest slice. 15%. Promote.
The ask.
The vegetables of the content meal.
Yeah. Ideally, if you cook them right, they taste good too. This is where you talk about your merch, your sponsors, or ask for subscribers. The golden rule here is value.
Meaning what exactly?
Don't just look at the camera and say, buy my shirt. Show the shirt in a funny context. Don't just say, subscribe. Explain why. Like, subscribe so you don't miss the finale of this challenge run.
Contextual selling. Give them a reason to care.
Exactly.
So you have this mix, 40, 25, 20, 15. But the course really emphasizes that you can't just wake up every morning and decide which one to do on a whim. You need a system. They call it the content tree.
This is a productivity hack that separates the pros from the burned-out amateurs. Professional creators batch their work.
Because if you're trying to film, edit, and post every single day completely from scratch,
you're going to burn out in a month. It's unsustainable. The content tree concept is all about recycling. Let's walk through a specific scenario.
Please.
You play a game for 3 hours on a live stream. That stream is the trunk of the tree.
Okay, so I have 3 hours of raw footage sitting on my hard drive.
Right. From that one session, you identify the 3 funniest or most intense moments. You cut those out, add some pacing edits and subtitles, and boom, you have a 10-minute YouTube video. That's a major branch.
Okay, I track that.
Then you take the vertical slices of those same funny moments, the snappy 60-second clips, and those go to TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Those are the leaves on the branch.
Wow, Jeff.
Then you take a screenshot of a crazy score screen or a funny visual bug, and that goes to Twitter. One single effort. But it yields 10 distinct pieces of content across multiple platforms.
Work smarter, not harder.
It's quite literally the only way to survive the algorithm's constant demand for consistency. You cannot feed the beast without a system like this.
Speaking of algorithms and platforms, let's move to Section 3, the platform ecosystem. I really love the analogies the course used in the source text. They help visualize where you actually live online as a creator.
They're very effective. You have to understand that every platform serves a completely different psychological need for the user.
So let's start with X, or Twitter. They call it the town square.
Yes, it's loud, it's chaotic, and it's where news breaks. If there's drama in the industry or a huge new game announcement, it happens there.
But how does that help the creator?
It's great for networking with other creators or developers, but it is terrible for direct monetization. You aren't going to get rich off tweets. It's a place to be seen, not a place to get paid.
Okay, so X is for talking to the industry. Then you have Discord. They call this the living room.
This is probably the most important asset for long-term retention. The living room is private, it's safe, it's where your absolute diehard fans hang out.
I feel like Discord is still a bit of a mystery to some people outside the gaming sphere. It's just a chat app, right?
Why is it so incredibly vital?
Think of it as your community architecture and your insurance policy, all in one.
Insurance policy against what?
Platform volatility. If YouTube changes its algorithm tomorrow and suddenly nobody sees your videos, or if Twitch bans you by mistake, which happens all the time, those platforms own your audience. You don't. Oh, wow. I never thought about it like that.
But in Discord, that is your server. You can ping everyone directly. You control the access.
It's owning the relationship versus renting it from a massive tech company.
Exactly. You structure it with welcome rules, general chat, voice channels. If X is where you meet people, Discord is where you become friends.
Now let's talk about the big guns. YouTube. They call it the library.
The long-form powerhouse. The reason it's the library is shelf life.
Because videos live forever.
Exactly. If you tweet something, it's gone in 24 hours. Swept away. If you post a video on YouTube, especially an educational one like we discussed earlier, people might be actively watching it 3 years from now. It earns money while you sleep.
That passive income layer.
Yes. And because it's a library, the packaging matters immensely. The source talks heavily about SEO titles and thumbnails. You have to organize your book so people actually want to take it off the shelf.
And then the complete opposite of the library is TikTok. The billboards.
It's all about speed. Imagine you are driving down the highway at 80 miles an hour. You have exactly 1 second to look at a billboard on the side of the road. That is TikTok. You have to stop the scroll instantly.
The source says you literally have 1 second. Is it really that fast?
1 second. Visual hook, audio hook. If you don't grab them immediately, they are gone and they aren't coming back.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. Which is why the strategy with TikTok isn't to build a deep community there. It's a funnel. You use the billboard to tell them to go to the library YouTube or the living room Discord.
Don't build your house on the billboard.
Precisely. You just rent the space to point them home.
And lastly, Instagram. The visual portfolio.
It's for brand building. It's a bit more polished than the other platforms. It shows potential sponsors that you are a professional entity. Look, I have good graphics. I have a face. I'm a real person you can trust your brand with.
Okay, so we have our strategy. We have our platform sorted. Now let's get to the part I know everyone is waiting for. The money.
The revenue streams. The lifeblood of the business.
The source material is very clear on this. Successful creators never rely on one single stream. They combine 3 to 5. So let's deep dive into these because the details here are fascinating.
Stream number 1 is platform revenue. This is ad revenue and subscriptions directly through the site.
This is the one everyone knows. You get ads on your video, you get paid. But I want to talk about the splits because I feel like the general public doesn't realize how much the platform actually takes from the creator.
We call it the platform tax. YouTube gives the creator 55% of the ad revenue. That's essentially the industry standard for video on demand. Twitch, on the live side, is usually a 50-50 split on subscriptions.
Wait, 50-50. So if I give a streamer $5 for a sub, Amazon, which owns Twitch, just keeps $2.50.
Correct. Unless you are a mega top-tier partner with a custom contract, that is the deal. Half goes to the house.
That seems really steep.
It is steep. Which is exactly why you have disruptors like Kick entering the market. The source mentions Kick specifically because they are offering a 95% split to the creator to try and steal top talent away from Twitch.
95% is a massive difference for someone trying to pay rent.
It is, but the overall audience on that platform is smaller. So it's a trade-off between a bigger slice of a small pie or a smaller slice of a massive pie. But the reality check for this entire stream is scale.
Right. You don't just log on and start getting ad money.
Not at all. To even start making money on YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. That is a very high bar for a beginner. You can be working hard for 6 solid months and not see a single penny from platform revenue.
So relying on ads is a slow burn. What is the heavy hitter? What actually pays the bills early on?
Stream 2. Brand sponsorships. The source notes that 77% of successful creators use this, and it is very often their largest single income source.
This is where I want to get really specific. Because get a sponsor is such an easy thing to say. But how does the math actually work? If I'm a brand, what exactly am I paying for?
The expert in the text breaks it down clearly. You can expect to charge $10 to $50 per 1,000 engaged followers.
Hold on, let me stop you right there. You say engaged followers. If I have 100,000 followers on Twitter, isn't that my number?
Absolutely not. If you have 100,000 followers but nobody ever comments or clicks your links, brands won't pay you a dime. That's what we call a ghost town profile. Brands look for engagement rates.
So how does the math work for a healthy channel?
If you have 50,000 actively engaged followers, people who actually watch, like, and comment, you can charge anywhere from $500 to $2,500 for a single video integration.
That is real money. $2,500 for a video.
Yeah.
If you manage to do 4 of those a month, that's a full-time salary right there.
Exactly. That's how creators actually quit their day jobs.
But how do you get them? Do you just sit by your phone and wait for an energy drink company to call you?
No, you have to hunt. The strategy the course recommends is very proactive. Do not wait for them to find you. You have to create a media kit and pitch them.
Okay, let's talk about the media kit. You say create a media kit, and I feel like everyone just nods along, but nobody actually knows what goes on that page. If I put, I like playing Minecraft, and I'm a funny guy on a PDF, nobody is paying me $2,000. What is the actual data a brand manager is looking for?
You're completely right. Calling it a resume is too soft. It's a B2B sales deck. And there are really only 3 data points that actually matter to that brand manager. The very first one is your demographics.
Break that down for me.
They do not care if you have 1 million followers if those followers are 12-year-olds with no credit cards. Your media kit needs a verified screenshot from your back-end analytics proving your audience's age and location. They want to see 18 to 34 years old and Tier 1 countries, meaning the US, the UK, Canada, Germany.
Because that's where the purchasing power is.
Exactly. You are selling access to open wallets, not just casual eyeballs.
Okay, so age and location are paramount. What else?
Engagement rate. And not just likes, which are easy to fake. I want to see comments per video versus total views. A 5% engagement rate on a small channel is worth way more than a 0.5% rate on a massive one. It shows actual influence.
If you tell your audience to go do something, do they actually go do it?
Precisely. So practically speaking, you are taking screenshots of your YouTube studio or your Twitch dashboard, circling the US and UK geography and the age bracket, and putting that front and center on your kit.
And then who do I send it to?
You pitch small brands. Do not email Nike or Red Bull on day one. Email the indie game developer launching their first title. Email the weird startup energy drink company that's just trying to get a foothold. Get the reps in.
Build a portfolio of success with the little guys so you can prove to the next guy that you deliver actual ROI.
Exactly. It's stepping stone.
Okay, that covers sponsorships. Stream 3 is direct support, donations, tips, Patreon.
This one is pure emotional commerce. People pay because they feel personally invested in your success. They want to say, I gave him $5 and he read my name on stream. It sounds small, but when you have a loyal living room in Discord, it adds up very fast.
Stream 4 is merchandise.
Walking billboards.
I love that term. But dealing with inventory is terrifying. I don't want a garage full of medium t-shirts I can't sell.
And you shouldn't have one. The source is very firm on this. You use print-on-demand services, companies like Spring or Printful.
How does that work technically for the creator?
You upload a digital design to their website. You put the store link in your bio. When a fan buys the shirt, the company prints it, packs it, and ships it directly to them. You literally never touch the physical product.
So what's the catch?
You make less profit per shirt. Maybe you make $5 instead of $15, but you have zero upfront cost and zero inventory risk.
That's a total no-brainer when you're just starting out.
Absolutely. And finally, Stream 5, affiliate marketing.
The source notes that 98% of creators use this in some form.
It's the easiest one to start. It's simple. Here is the exact headset I use. Click the Amazon link in the description to buy it. You get a small cut of the sale.
But the expert note in the text here was huge. Trust is the currency.
This is where amateur creators absolutely destroy their own careers.
How so?
If you recommend a garbage headset that breaks in a week just to make a quick $5 commission, you will lose that viewer forever. You are trading your long-term trust for short-term pennies. It is a terrible, terrible business decision. Authenticity is the only way the affiliate stream works long-term.
Sell good stuff or don't sell anything at all.
Exactly.
So we have our 5 streams. But the big question, the one everyone is really asking remains, if I start today, when can I actually quit my day job?
The sustainability timeline. This is the part of the course that is the most grounding. It strips away all the fantasy.
They break it down chronologically. So let's walk through this 24-month marathon. And I want to really put ourselves in the shoes of a brand new creator here. Let's call her Sarah. She starts her channel today.
Okay, so Sarah is in phase 1, months 1 to 3. The source calls this phase the ghost town.
Oof. That sounds incredibly bleak.
It feels bleak. Sarah is posting her content, she is streaming 3 times a week, she's cutting TikToks, and her revenue is exactly $0. Her viewer count is maybe 3 people. 1 is her mom, 1 is her best friend, and 1 is a bot.
Shout out to Mom for the support, but seriously, Psychologically, this has to be brutal.
It's devastating. This is exactly where most people quit. The feedback loop is completely silent. You feel like you are just shouting into a dark void. You start to question your own talent. Am I just not funny? Does nobody care about what I have to say?
So what should Sarah's actual focus be during these first 90 days?
Skill acquisition. Nothing else. The focus shouldn't be money, and it shouldn't even be views. It's finding her specific voice. It's learning how to edit faster. It's building the foundation of that content tree we talked about. If she survives the ghost town.
She enters phase 2, months 3 to 6, the spark.
Yes. Now Sarah is making maybe $10 to $100 a month. Maybe a few affiliate clicks finally came through because she reviewed her new mouse. Maybe a random donation from a regular viewer who found her through a search.
It's not pay your rent money, but it's proof of concept.
Exactly. It's that first rush of validation. Someone out there is willing to pay for what I'm doing.
That dopamine hit of the first dollar must be massive.
It's completely addictive. It proves the entire model works.
Then we move to months 6 to 12, the unlock.
This is usually when platform monetization finally kicks in. Sarah hits that 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. She becomes a Twitch affiliate. Her revenue jumps to maybe $100 to $500 a month.
Now here is a trap the source specifically mentions. They call this the danger zone. Why is this dangerous if she's finally making consistent money?
Because $500 a month is enough to feel like a second job, but it is nowhere near enough to actually live on.
Ah, I see.
So Sarah is working her 40-hour-a-week full-time job, and she is now feeling the immense pressure to stream more and edit more because she's officially making money. This is where burnout kills the really promising creators. They double their workload, but the financial reward isn't sustaining them yet.
They stretch themselves too thin. You really have to pace yourself through the unlock phase.
You do. You have to maintain boundaries. Because if you push through, you hit months 12 to 18, the growth.
Revenue is $500 to $2,000 a month.
Now Sarah is getting regular small sponsors using that media kit. Her subscriber base is growing organically. The compounding effect of the YouTube library really starts to kick in. Old videos are paying new dividends.
And finally, months 18 to 24, the stability.
$2,000 to $5,000 a month. Sarah has multiple streams firing at once. The YouTube ad revenue is a consistent baseline. The merch is selling a bit every week. She has a solid monthly sponsored deal on retainer.
And year 2 plus is full-time?
That is the goal. She can hand in her notice. But look at that timeline objectively. It takes 2 full years of consistent grinding effort. And by consistent, the source means 3 to 5 high-quality videos or streams every single week. It is a marathon.
It really puts the whole overnight success myth to bed permanently.
It should, yes.
But human nature being what it is, we all want to speed things up. So let's pivot to section 6, growth hacking. How do we press the accelerator on this timeline?
The single most powerful lever you can pull, according to the source, is collaboration.
Working with other creators.
Yes, but there is a strict rule here. Collaborate with peers, not superstars.
Explain that to me. Why wouldn't I try to collab with the biggest streamer in the world? If I get on a stream with Ninja or Pokimane, I'm made right.
Well, first of all, they aren't going to answer your email.
Fair point.
Second, even if by some miracle they did, the dynamic is completely off, you become essentially a Make-A-Wish kid on their stream.
Oh, wow. That's a stark way to put it.
It's true. You are just an excited fan in their orbit. Their audience isn't going to follow you because you don't bring equal value to the exchange. But if you collaborate with someone of a similar size, let's say Sarah collaborates with Mike, who also has 500 engaged followers, the dynamic is equal. You are peers.
And you share audiences?
Exactly. Mike's fans discover Sarah and see her as an equal talent, and Sarah's fans discover Mike.
Cross-pollination.
Yes. Co-streams, in-game challenges, guest spots on podcasts. It builds community because it shows the audience you are part of a wider scene, not just a desperate lone wolf trying to make a buck.
Another growth hack they mention is trend jacking.
This is all about speed and agility. The window of opportunity here is 24 to 48 hours max.
Really? That fast?
The internet moves at absolute light speed. If a new meme drops or a crazy game-breaking bug is found in a massive title like Call of Duty, you need to have a video about it up today.
So quality just takes a total backseat.
In this very specific instance, yes. A rough, unpolished, poorly lit video posted today beats a cinematic 4K masterpiece posted next week. Because next week, nobody cares. The cultural conversation has already moved on.
So you have to be chronically online.
Pretty much. You have to monitor X and Discord, see what is bubbling up in the zeitgeist, and add your specific spin to it immediately.
And the final piece of the growth puzzle is metrics. But not just any metrics. The host in the source text says, here's where it gets interesting. Followers don't equal money.
We touched on this briefly with the media kit, but let's go much deeper. This is the critical difference between vanity metrics and value metrics.
Vanity meaning your total follower count, how many likes a post got.
Right. Those are great for your ego. They look really nice on a Twitter bio, but they do not pay the bills. The value metrics are the only things the algorithms and the brand sponsors actually care about.
So if I'm Sarah looking at my dashboard, what should I actually be looking at if I want to grow my business?
Number one is CTR, click-through rate.
What does that measure?
It measures how many people see your thumbnail on their homepage and actually decide to click it. A healthy growing number is between 4 and 10%.
And if it's lower?
If you are under 2%, your video could literally be the best piece of content ever made in human history, but nobody is ever going to see it because your packaging is bad, your title is boring, or your thumbnail is cluttered.
So if my CTR is low, I shouldn't just be sad. I need to proactively change the thumbnail or the title.
Immediately. YouTube allows you to change them dynamically after the video is posted. It's the easiest fix you can make.
Okay, so that gets them in the door. What happens once they click?
Then you look at AVD, average view duration. This is your retention metric.
How long they stay?
Exactly. If people click because you had a great thumbnail, but they leave in 30 seconds, the algorithm says, oh, this video is clickbait, or this video is incredibly boring and it completely kills its reach. It stops showing it to new people. You have to keep them watching to the end.
So you really need to focus on the numbers that show actual human behavior, not just the numbers that show channel size.
Precisely. Because if you improve your CTR and your AVD, the actual channel growth happens automatically as a byproduct. The algorithm actively wants to promote good videos to keep people on the platform. You just have to mathematically prove your video is good with data.
Man, we have covered a massive amount of ground here today. We've looked at the shifting global landscape, the strategy of the 4 pillars, the very different roles of the social platforms, the 5 ways to actually get paid, and the brutally honest timeline to make it a real career.
It is an incredibly comprehensive roadmap. It removes the guesswork.
The course actually ends with a 30-day action plan, which I think is a great way to wrap this up for anyone listening who is feeling completely overwhelmed by all this information.
It breaks the mountain down into steps. Week 1 is just branding and tools. Get your OBS, that's your broadcasting software, set up and running smoothly. Get a basic logo. Don't stress about making content yet. Just get the plumbing working.
That makes it feel doable. What's week 2?
Week 2 is your first 3 pieces of actual content and getting that Discord living room set up. Just start hitting record. Post something bad. It's totally okay if it's bad. The goal is just to break the seal.
And week 3.
Consistency and analytics review. You look at the numbers from those first 3 posts. Don't judge your self-worth by them. Just learn from them. Oh, people watched the funny clip much longer than the serious tutorial clip.
Adjusting the sales. And finally, week 4.
Outreach. Start talking to other creators your size for collabs. Look at signing up for simple affiliate programs like Amazon and draft that media kit, even if it's mostly empty right now. Get the template ready.
It turns a completely overwhelming life change into a very manageable staircase.
That is exactly the goal of the curriculum.
Before we sign off, I want to circle back to something the expert mentioned in the source text right at the end. They left us with a final, really provocative thought.
Ah, yes. It's about the community promise. It's a sobering thought. They argue that the most dangerous thing in this industry isn't failing to grow.
Because you can always try again if you fail.
Exactly. The most dangerous thing you can do is growing, getting big, and then betraying the trust of the community that got you there in the first place.
Because in an industry worth $260 billion,
trust is literally the only currency that doesn't inflate. It is priceless. You can lose your YouTube channel, you can get banned from Twitch, you can lose your brand deals, but if you have the genuine trust of your community, they will follow you anywhere and you can rebuild.
But if you lose it?
If you sell that trust out for a quick buck, if you push a crypto scam to your young audience, or lie about a bad product, you are done. The internet does not forget, and the BS detector will catch you.
That is a really powerful reminder to keep the human element front and center in this highly digital world. If you are starting your journey after listening to this, good luck to you. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but the map is right there in front of you.
Absolutely. Go build something great.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We will catch you in the next one.